let's go.
So are we.
Yeah, we're going monster trucking in Tremonton, and it's way too hot to talk to you without the air conditioner on, and you can't hear if it is, so
we'll make this quick.
Yeah, just wait and see. We're gonna do 2 monster truck shows one day and try to go out to Promontory Point where Golden Spike was late. And
I've been there since I was a kid, so that's fun.
I haven't been there in quite a while myself, and I've never seen the trains come out, so we're gonna try to catch that and show it to you. But anyway, here we go.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are super excited. We've got 2 incredible guests that came all the way from California.
This is another one of our unique campgrounds for the weekend. That's Darren Miguez next door. He's the owner, driver, and crew of TK Motorsports, but we'll talk more about him later. Not long after we get set up, Spencer Pancarry comes back from his display in Brigham City. I always refer to Spencer as our safety coordinator, but he's so much more. He arranges for equipment and EMS, manages the entire track crew, and probably 1,000 other things I don't even know about. He's usually the first to arrive and the last to leave our venues. And if that wasn't enough, he picked up the ride truck responsibilities by purchasing and completely restoring the Livin' Free Monster ride truck. Sometimes he likes to let his hair down. This is Spencer, he's our safety coordinator. The guy that bitches at everybody else for doing that. The next morning we wake up to the sounds of construction equipment and impact wrenches. While Spencer and the crew start building the track, Darren tires up Nitro Menace. They're all doing this stuff pretty early to beat the heat of the day. No sleeping in for us. After we set up concessions and merch, we like to take a little time to relax by the trailers. You've already met Brittany, Burke, Skylar, and Maverick. But let me introduce you to more of the crew.
What are you planning? What attack are you planning?
Oh, thanks. Hey.
This is Kobe, Brittany's little brother. The pandemic brought him home from his LDS mission in Brazil. Before he left, he was doing some announcing with me. Now he expertly fills any void from track duties to taking tickets, and if needed, now he can announce in Portuguese. He's an all-around top hand. This is Kason, also Brittany's brother. He's a firefighter for Idaho Falls and spends most of his off time helping us live the dream. You'll frequently find him behind the wheel of the Livin' Free ride truck. And here's Andy. First and foremost, he's a longtime friend. Other than that, he's a master sound and stage designer. If you've ever been to a concert, no matter how big or small, Andy may have had a hand in it. The pandemic pretty well shut down that industry, so now he's my co-announcer and producer. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Let go of my ears. I know what I'm doing.
And when there is time on our hands, the tomfoolery begins. This time it's in the form of Skylar and Andy getting in Maverick's Razor. Any words of advice for him, Darren?
Buckle up. Hold on. Let's make you uncomfortable.
You know he's not squeezing 2 fat guys in a small can.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, you feel that? Snap the belt and chain right off of this.
I'm surprised the brain can even hold you 2.
Hey, watch your mouth. There's still time to break. We got this. We're going to go hit the tabletop.
You know what that suspension's saying?
I told you earlier I'd tell you about Darren Miguez. As previously stated, he's the ramrod of the family-owned team of TK Motorsports. He drives Nitro Menace, and his daughter Kaylin drives Jailbird. Together, they're a force to be reckoned with. Darren has driven some huge names in the business, including Bigfoot and Bounty Hunter, before starting his own team. Kaylin has been driving since she was 18 and already has a couple of world titles under her helmet. Not only that, but she's a rock star asset when it comes to media. I know I made it all about Kaylin, and she's not even here. but I'm pretty sure that's how Darren likes it.
That's a kid's car.
No.
You chowderheads, get out of it now. I mean it.
Eventually, Skylar and Andy's adventure leads us to the king of adventure, Ron Duncan. He's the owner and driver of the Maverick Monster Tracker. His resume extends way beyond the arena, though. For years, he hosted a motorsports radio show in Salt Lake City. He also hosted a TV reality show where he would take ordinary people on once-in-a-lifetime adventures. And if all that isn't enough, he and Monster Tracker were featured in the opening scene of the Nitro Circus 3D movie. Because of the recommended guidelines set forth by the health department, we weren't able to have any non-essential people in the pits the day of the show. Because of this, I invited my brother and nephews to come get up close to the trucks the day before. The first to show up was my nephew Jesse, and he arrived in my old first gen. Believe it or not, I drove this truck all over the western United States for 10 years announcing rodeos and motorsports right up until 2018. I sold it to Jesse, and he's been steadily improving it and making it his own. Then my brother and the other boys showed up. My 11-year-old nephew Garrett is dead set on becoming a monster truck driver, so we let him sit in the driver's seat of most of the trucks on the property.
Here we go. What do you think? You're in monster mud.
When he got in sniper, Wally Turner kicked it up a notch as he always does. I'll fill you in on Wally later.
Now how bad do you want to be?
How's that, huh?
His face is white.
Push this button in right here. Push it in.
My 16-year-old nephew Porter is 6'7", so fitting him into a monster truck was going to be tough. But the Throttle Monster boys came to the rescue with a brand new Rockwell red monster truck. The driver of this truck, Paul Jensen, stands 6'5", so it was just right for Porter. We also checked out the mini monster trucks that came all the way from California to run with us. These trucks are scaled down versions of the big ones. They have rear steer, remote ignition interrupter, and all of the other safety equipment. Warhead is driven by 10-year-old Mason Mentor, and High Risk driven by 13-year-old Corbin Shockey. More on them in coming videos. The next morning we had our crew meeting covering all the new practices we're implementing with the pandemic, starting with everybody getting their temperature taken before each show. Then it's time for pit party before the show. Like everything else, this is a little different. Our usual pit parties has the driver sit next to the rigs for autographs and photos. But to limit exposure, this time we parked everything in the gravel and encouraged social distancing. Then it's showtime. Because of the music in the background, I can't play the dialogue here, but if you've ever heard me talk about the pre-show jitters, you can kind of see them in my body language here. On top of that, we're debuting the Team Throttle Monster Rockwell Red Monster Truck, and some very important people are here for the occasion. I get so nerded up today that I forgot how to do intros that I've done 100 times.
I don't remember how to do my intros.
I finally get it together and we light the fires on the show.
Tremonton, Utah. This is the Monster Truck Insanity Tour. Are you ready to meet your monsters?
Stay comfortable. I'll keep you other keep it under.
Our intros and military service tributes are one of my favorite parts of our show. Again, because of the music, I can't play the whole thing for you, but to get the full effect, you'll just have to come to a Monster Truck Insanity Tour show and see it for yourself.
And show some love to the United States Marine Corps! And right now, more than ever, those who keep us safe here at home, the ones that run to the sound of the guns, they put out the fires and they keep us safe when we hurt ourselves. Let's hear it for all of your local law enforcement, firefighters, and EMS.
We start things off in the Wheelie contest. One reason we avoid 2 shows in one day is trucks breaking and not having enough time to fix them. And right out of the gate, Dunk falls prey to the 2-show demon. You can see we're on his second hit that only one tire is getting power to the ground, which is typical of a snapped axle. That is not a celebratory donut. Up next is the all-new Rockwell Red, driven by Paul Jensen and owned by Team Throttle Monster. Then Wild and Woolly Wally Turner comes out, also bitten by the 2-show beast. Then it comes to Craig Christensen in Jailbird. This is a truck that's not his, and a seat that's way too small. This just proves that he could put on a show with a tricycle. And finally, Darren Miguez. This is what I love about our drivers. Darren may deny this if he ever watches it, but after watching 2 trucks go down and knowing that there's another show coming up, he takes it easy and sacrifices a potential win for the greater good. Trust me, this guy is an animal that usually leaves it all on the track.
Alright, folks, I think he can hear you if you make some noise.
The fans rightfully declare Paul Jensen and Rockwell Red as the winner in the Wheelie contest.
Can you hear me? I'd like to thank everybody that came out to support us. We love running these shows for little. They do a lot for the mill.
Rockwell is a watch, sunglass, and apparel company, and the red stands for Remember Everyone Deployed and Everyone Dedicated, a tribute to all military and local servicemen and women. Make sure and check out Rockwell to see their amazing products. Then we go to Tough Truck Racing. There are so many stories to tell about the amazing people that travel with us, I don't have time to put them all in one video. So please subscribe and keep watching to learn more about these incredible people. The mini monsters come out for racing, and Corbin and Mason do not disappoint. Make sure and follow these 2 on Instagram. A big thanks to Alexander Acoustics for bringing them all the way to Tremonton. Then it was time for the big trucks to race. It was a battle of team against team, brother against brother, and father against son, ending up with Darren Miguez as the victor. Then the Monster Truck Freestyle comes around, starting with Michael Christensen and Vendetta. We haven't talked about him much, but trust me, he's got a big story coming up in the next video. The battle ensues with every driver doing their level best to win, and Paul Jensen and Rockwell Red are once again victorious. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Coming up in part 2, it's the evening show and a side trip to Golden Spike National Monument.